In a quiet town on the edge of the mountains lived a man named Samuel Green. He was a hard-working store clerk who spent his days arranging dusty shelves, counting coins, and dreaming of a life much greater than his own. Yet, no matter how much he tried, life always seemed to pull him down. Low wages, harsh people, and a lingering sense that the world was laughing behind his back. One evening, while sweeping the wooden floor of the store, Samuel found an old, tattered book left behind by a traveler. The title read, "Think and Grow Rich," by Napoleon Hill. He almost tossed it aside, thinking it was just another self-help nonsense, but curiosity got the better of him. That night, under the flickering glow of an oil lamp, he began to read. The book spoke of thoughts, emotions, and the incredible power of acting as though success were already his. It said, "Learn to act as if nothing bothers you. The calm mind is the magnet for all good things." Those words struck him like lightning. He had spent years reacting to everything: angry customers, gossiping neighbors, his own failures. He realized he had been living as a slave to emotion, letting every insult and hardship wound him. The next morning, Samuel decided to try something new. He dressed in his best shirt, shined his worn boots, and told himself he was a man of purpose. When he walked through the marketplace, people still whispered about his old debts and his quiet ways, but this time, he didn't flinch. He walked with his head high, a faint smile resting on his face. At the store, his boss barked orders and criticized his slow pace. Normally, Samuel would have burned with anger or shame, but instead, he nodded calmly and continued his work. His boss frowned, confused that his usual sting had lost its effect. That night, Samuel wrote in his notebook, "I will no longer let the world shake my peace. I will act as if nothing bothers me, for that is how great men stand above small troubles." Days turned to weeks. Samuel's calm presence began to change things around him. Customers who once spoke rudely now softened their tone. His coworkers started seeking his advice. His boss, noticing his quiet confidence, gave him more responsibility. The man who once blended into the background was becoming someone others respected. But the real test came one hot afternoon when the store's till came up short. His boss accused him of stealing. In front of everyone, the man shouted, "You think you can fool me with your calm face, Samuel? You're nothing but a liar." The old Samuel would have shouted back, his pride wounded. But this time, he looked his boss in the eye and said quietly, "Sir, I understand your anger. I did not take what isn't mine. The truth will reveal itself." Then he went back to stacking the shelves as if nothing had happened. Whispers filled the town. People stared at him, expecting him to break. But he continued his routine, smiling to customers, greeting the townsfolk, and refusing to explain himself to anyone. A week later, a traveler returned to the store, an old merchant who had borrowed some coins from the till while the boss was away. He apologized and repaid every penny. The boss, ashamed, called Samuel into his office. "You didn't even defend yourself," he said. "Why?" Samuel replied, "Because I've learned something, sir. When we let anger rule, we lose twice, once in our peace, and once in our reputation. Acting calm doesn't mean we're weak. It means we trust truth to fight for us." His boss nodded slowly and offered him a promotion. That day, Samuel realized that true strength isn't loud, it's silent and steady. Over time, Samuel saved enough money to open his own store. He called it Hill's Way Mercantile, a tribute to the man whose words had changed his life. Customers came not just for goods, but for advice. Whenever someone complained about life's unfairness, Samuel would smile and say, "Act as if nothing bothers you. The world bends to calm minds." Years later, when he was old and gray, a young man came to him, angry, defeated by failure. "How can you stay so peaceful when life keeps throwing stones?" the boy asked. Samuel chuckled. "Let me tell you something, my friend," he said. "When I was young, I thought power meant shouting louder than the world. But then I learned, life tests us not through storms, but through how we stand in the rain. Every insult, every loss, every unfair blow, those are chances to prove we are stronger than emotion. You act calm not because you feel calm, but because you're building the habit of power." The boy frowned. "But isn't that pretending?" Samuel smiled. "Pretending is where greatness begins. You act rich before you are, confident before you succeed, peaceful before the chaos ends. The mind follows what it sees. Act as if nothing bothers you, and one day, nothing will." As the years passed, Samuel became known as the calm man of the mountains. People came from far towns to hear his advice. He taught that success was not in wealth or fame but in mastering one's own reactions. Your peace, he would say, is your greatest currency. When he finally passed away, they found his old notebook on the table beside him. The final words he wrote were simple. The man who learns to act as if nothing bothers him becomes untouchable by the storms of life. Calm is the crown of kings unseen. And so, the legend of Samuel Green lived on, not as a man who grew rich or powerful, but as one who learned to rule his own heart. Just as Napoleon Hill taught, he proved that true success begins when you stop letting the world shake your spirit. In the end, the calmest man in town had built an empire of peace, and everyone who met him carried a piece of that calm within their hearts.